Welcome back to Academic Ease. I'm Hardy, and today we're unraveling the powerful story behind a single word that ignited a revolution and united a nation. That word is Merdeka. You've heard it shouted every August 17th, but do you know how it became the heartbeat of Indonesia's fight for independence? Let's dive into the fascinating tale of how Merdeka went from an ancient term to the battle cry that changed history. Let's start at the beginning. Did you know that the word Merdeka actually has ancient roots? It comes from the Sanskrit term Mahadika, meaning prosperous or mighty. Picture this, a word once reserved for describing powerful rulers and deities in ancient texts. But over centuries it travelled through cultures and morphed into something far more revolutionary. By the time it entered the Malay and Indonesian languages, Merdeka had evolved to mean freedom and independence. It was a perfect fit for a nation ready to shake off centuries of colonial rule. This evolution wasn't just about language, it was about transforming a concept of power into a symbol of liberation. Fast forward to the early 20th century. Indonesia was in the throes of its struggle for independence, and Merdeka became much more than a word. It became a mantra. Dr. Bambang Kaswanti Purwo, a leading Indonesian linguist, argues that Merdeka wasn't just a slogan. It was the linguistic glue that held together a fragmented nation. The 1928 Sumpah Pemuda, or Youth Pledge, marked a pivotal moment in Indonesia's history. Here, young Indonesians from diverse ethnic backgrounds declared one nation, one language, one homeland, Indonesia. And what was their rallying cry? You guessed it, Merdeka. This word unified farmers, intellectuals and freedom fighters from Sumatra to Papua, each chanting Merdeka in their own dialects, but with the same burning desire for independence. Now let's talk about the heroes who breathed life into Merdeka. Take Sukarno, Indonesia's first president, for example. On August 17, 1945, he stood before the nation and proclaimed, "Proklamasi, kami bangsa Indonesia, dengan ini menyatakan kemerdekaan Indonesia." That's when Merdeka became not just a word, but the embodiment of a nation's dreams. Imagine the electrifying atmosphere after years of colonial oppression. Hearing Merdeka was like hearing the sound of chains breaking. But it wasn't just the leaders. Merdeka was the rallying cry for everyone, from the guerrilla fighters in the jungles to the poets in the cities. Kut Niak Dien, the fierce female leader from Aceh, used Merdeka to fuel her resistance against Dutch colonial forces. And Diponegoro, the Javanese prince who led a massive rebellion in the 19th century, invoked the spirit of Merdeka in his struggle. These heroes turned Merdeka into more than a word. It became a movement. But why does this matter today? Because Merdeka isn't just a relic of the past, it's a living force. Here's something you might not know. During the Japanese occupation of Indonesia in World War II, the word Merdeka was banned. The occupiers knew its power, but instead of silencing the word, the ban only made it stronger. Indonesians used Merdeka as a secret code in underground newspapers, in songs sung under the cover of darkness, and even in whispered conversations that carried the weight of defiance. One of the most remarkable stories comes from Sultan Syahrir, an independence leader who was imprisoned by the Japanese. Even behind bars, he used Merdeka in his underground pamphlets to rally the people. He knew that words can be more powerful than weapons, and Merdeka was his weapon of choice. Even today, the legacy of Merdeka lives on. It's a word that has transcended its original meaning of national independence. Now, it's a call to action for social justice, economic equality, and environmental protection. Whenever there's a fight for rights and freedoms, you'll still hear the echo of Merdeka, from the streets to social media. This adaptability shows that Merdeka is not just a word, it's a timeless symbol of the human spirit's quest for freedom. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the history, language, and enduring power of Merdeka. If you've been inspired by how one word can unite, empower, and change the course of history, make sure to like, share and subscribe to Academic Ease for more stories behind the words that shape our world. And as we remember the struggles and victories of the past, let's carry the spirit of Merdeka forward. Until next time, Merdeka.